The presidential frontrunners are reigniting one of America's most divisive issues, gun policy. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton each talked about firearms to different groups this week. Trump accusing Clinton of wanting to abolish the Second Amendment, with Clinton striking back, calling Trump's plan, quote, dangerous. Alexandra Smith is the president of the College Republican National Committee. Democratic strategist and radio talk show host Garland Nixon is also here for a fair and balanced debate. Appreciate you both being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Garland, to you, is this the right fight for Hillary Clinton to be picking with Donald Trump?
I think it's the right fight for both of them right now. If you look at the numbers, social issues, as far as the importance for voters nationwide, is about 8%. So I don't think this decides the election. But I think both of these candidates need to reach out to the base. They need to build some trust with the base. So for both of them, from the perspective of inside their party, I think it's the right move for both of them.
And when you think about playing to the base, this is a very important issue to Republicans. Doesn't seem, and Republicans seem pretty united in how they feel about this issue. Democrats, not so much.
Absolutely, which is why I think we're seeing Hillary Clinton really turn to this issue right now, which is an interesting pivot from where she was in 2008. In 2008, of course, she sort of ran to the right of President Obama on guns. Before the presidential primary in Pennsylvania, my home state, she came out and defended the bitter gun clingers to their religion and to their guns ahead of President Obama in the election there. And so I think that right now what we're seeing is her try to go to the left of Bernie Sanders on this issue in an effort to outflank him and maybe get some more credibility on the liberal side.
You know, she's going so far to the left right now, Garland, on guns and on a lot of other issues. And some have said, well, she doesn't have to pivot to the center after the convention. It's got to be a dog leg to the center, to the convention. Can you make that turn as she's standing there talking to Trayvon Martin's family and other families about gun violence, and then have a much broader appeal come the general?
I think so. For Hillary, it's going to be easier than most because she's turned so frequently that I think people are kind
very
of accustomed to it.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, in the interest of all honesty here, I'm feeling the burn. So, you know, I'm not the biggest Hillary supporter in the world, but I do think with Hillary, you know, she kind of moves around a lot. And keep in mind something: in the Democratic Party, you made a good point. It is a tough position because this is not necessarily a Democrat and Republican position in our party. It's more an urban versus the rural.
Right. It breaks slightly differently.
Yeah.
And to that point, though, it's got to be a little bit tougher for Republicans because Trump seems to flip and move and change his positions almost as much as Hillary Clinton does sometimes.
Well, you know, I think it matters how the voters perceive that. And I think with Hillary Clinton, what we're seeing particularly in the new Fox poll, with the numbers coming from the independents, they're seeing her as someone that they can't trust. And I think with Hillary Clinton, when she changes the position, it looks like a political calculation. She looks like a creature of Washington that's just changing to fit the times. Whereas Donald Trump looks like a businessman who is trying to change his position to maybe meet circumstances at a different time. I think that's how voters are actually perceiving this.
So people expect that out of a businessman and don't necessarily allow it out of a politician? I
think so. I mean, you could look at Anthony Scaramucci's latest opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal this week, where he talks about Donald Trump's assets as a businessman, and he talks about sort of unpredictability and the ability to adapt and to change as being an asset that you would want in a business person and maybe even a leader in the United States.
Garland, I'm going to come back to you, sort of bring this full circle when you think about somebody like Bernie Sanders, who you're a big fan of, I know. Going into this, there's the huge debate about electability, and Sanders' argument is essentially the John Kasich argument. I'm going to be the better guy to take on Donald Trump now. Does that continue to work when it comes to these social issues and other things, or are we kind of past that argument, you think?
Well, again, I think if you look at the polls, what's most important to American voters? 39% of American voters say the economy and jobs are number one. And I think Bernie feels that that's his high ground, and I think that he figures the social issues, when you look at like 8%, when you look at education, 10 or 11%, I think Bernie feels that I've got the power when it comes to what's most important, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
You know, great line, James Carville, one of the great Clinton advisors. It's the economy, stupid. Does that play well to Trump, Alexandra?
100%. I mean, this is Donald Trump's core area of competency. This is what he has tried to put out throughout the entire primary process, and I think that he can come in as sort of the fix-it CEO that's willing to turn the country around from where it's headed on the wrong track, according to many Americans.
Well, yeah, and if you look at the poll numbers, trust to do the best job with the economy. Trump 53, Clinton 41. We didn't have those numbers for Bernie, so we'll see. Go from there. All right, there's the poll. Garland, Alexander, appreciate you guys being here. Good discussion. Thanks so much.